Hi, welcome to the tutorial. Today we are going to discuss how to install Qlik Sense on a server, single node or multiple node. So first we need to download the Qlik Sense Enterprise file. For that we need to log in qlik.com and then select downloads. It will ask for the login. You might need to create a new one if you don't have. I need to choose the language and then the product and then the versions. So right now I'm selecting a February 2020 version and select the operating system. So I'm selecting 64-bit and I can download this exe. This is the main exe setup file, and there are a few update patch files which we can install after this main installation. So I'm downloading the main exe. Before we start installing the exe, we need to create a user that can be used dedicatedly for running the Qlik related services, Windows services. For that I'm creating a new user account. For that just press Windows X key and select computer management and then select shared local users and groups. Click on users, click on new user, give a username, Q user, and we can give a description, also a password. Repeat the password. Uncheck this user must change password at new login, and also we can select this password never expire. Click on create. So it will create a user with a name Q user that can be used for installing this Qlik Sense. Exe is just downloaded, so we can start the installation. Right click and run as administrator, so it will start that installation process. Yeah, it's started the process. It will unpack the files. Now we need to click on install. Select the license agreements, click next, click on create cluster because it's a fresh installation and it's a single node. And if I'm installing on multiple nodes, then after installing the product in the main cluster main machine, then we can click on join cluster button. So right now I just need to click on create cluster. I need to give the address of this machine and next, click on next. Then it's installing the repository database. So if it is on my local machine, we need to select this install local database. Otherwise we need to specify the server IP address or name where we are installing the main node. So it's a single node, so I can select install local database. Then if I have to change the port number, I can change it. Then the default database user, the Qlik Sense repository database user will be used. If I want to change, I can change it here. And then we need to specify the password for the repository user. It's using Postgres database. So this user and password is required after the installation. If you have any kind of upgrade, database backup, that kind of stuff we can do with this username password. Click on next. This is for database listener. We can configure this listener details after the installation also. Like if I am installing in multiple nodes, then what are the IP address that need to listen. So if I want to listen from all machines, then I can give star, and if I have any specific kind of IP subnet kind of details, then I can give it here. If I need to if all machines are connecting to this server, then I can give 0.0.0/0, and maximum connections will be 100. It will be per a node. Based on the nodes, we need to increase this value. So just click on next, and here I need to give the username password for starting the service. So initially we created a username as dedicated user, so I can give that user here, user and password. Since it is a local machine user, I can give like this and click on next. So next is the shared persistent storage. So here we need to specify a folder where the Qlik Sense installation will place its applications files and logs. All those things will be stored into that location. So we need to create a folder for that. So just renaming Qlik Sense repo, and it should be a shared location. So we need to open the share option. So right now this is a shared location, and we can deploy a multiple node site with a shared persistence. This means node share a single repository database and a network folder for the application files. We can either share the central node repository and application storage, or as we need to set up a dedicated machine for the repository and the application storage. Next, we need to give the shared persistence storage location. We created a location on the node, and also that user that we created initially should have a read-write permission to this location, and we need to give that shared location name here. So app folder, log, static content folder will create based on that inside this main folder. Click on next. Next, we need to configure the centralized logging. We have two options. One is we can write the logs to the database that is we installed with the Qlik Sense. Otherwise, we can select a standalone logging database. So I'm selecting the new logging database. I can give the username, log, write password, all those things here. Next, we need to point the installation location. We can choose the default one and click next. Here we need to specify our repository database super user password. We should remember this password. It is required during our after the installation. If we have any kind of upgradation, then for taking backup, for running backup utility, this super user password is required. So we need to remember this password. Next, we need to set few configurations like desktop shortcuts. We need to start the Qlik Sense after the installation or not. We can choose the default one and click on next. Accept the license agreement, then click on installed. It's just started the installation, and it will take a few minutes to complete the installation. After the installation, we will get two shortcuts on our desktop. That is, one is QMC, that is Qlik Sense Management Console, and one is Qlik Hub. Installation is just completed. After the installation, we need to open the Qlik Sense Management Console, and we need to activate using our license key. After the activation, we need to set up a few configurations, like we need to import the certificate thumbprint. We are running these applications on HTTPS, so we need to install the certificate on our server, and we should get that thumbprint and put it in that SSL thumbprint in proxy settings. Also, the Q user, the user that we created initially, should have access to this read access to this certificate. After all, we can open the hub and start creating applications in Qlik Sense.